What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Detective Pikachu Returns. Last time we did some more investigating into this case and the theft of the Aurora drop, and now we're gonna do some more. Do I have? I guess I don't have anyone to talk to other than him.
I see.
Ask anything you want, Tim. What was the situation in the mansion at the time of the incident? We're still looking into that. I'm sure you'll get more direct answers by asking the witnesses themselves. He's right. We should take this one step at a time and gather our own intel. I was told Barnes is the police's prime suspect. Well, the circumstantial evidence certainly seems to be pointing in this direction. He doesn't sound terribly convinced. Does anything strike you as odd? Yes, actually. I can't think of a single motive for Barnes to steal that jewel. He doesn't appear to bear any ill will toward Mr. Dennis, and he's in no trouble financially. That being said, we may uncover a motive in the course of our investigation. But for now, I can't say anything with certainty. Understood. I hear the Aurora drop is an incredibly valuable jewel. The Aurora drop's not just valuable, it's famous throughout the entire jewelry industry. There must be plenty of people who'd like to get their hands on it. Could the jewel have been stolen by an intruder? Can't rule out that possibility, but based on the current evidence, I'd say the likelihood of burglary is low. Inspector Holliday, I know this has nothing to do with the current case, but you want to ask me about Haley? Yes, do the police have any new leads on my father's whereabouts? Sorry, Tim, but we haven't made any developments on that front. Oh, well, thanks anyway. I still don't understand it myself. I heard he was working on the R case when he went missing. So it stands to reason that if you followed that thread, you'd find Harry too. That case has been closed and we still don't have a single clue. Seriously, where did Harry disappear to? Don't be discouraged, Tim. Look how far you've come in the 2 years since you moved to the city in search of your father. You've become such a great detective that the mayor himself recognized you with an award. You'll find Harry, I'm sure of it, and in the meantime, I'll keep offering whatever help I can. Yeah, you're right. Thanks, Inspector Holliday. Oh, I guess I haven't talked to you again yet. What makes the Aurora drop a symbol of revival? 2 years ago, during the R incident, my jewel shop suffered considerable damage. Wait, you were a victim of the R incident? Yes, some Pokemon who'd been exposed to R went berserk. Their rampage destroyed my shop, to say nothing of the damage done to my jewels and other goods. By that time, I already had the Aurora drop and kept it stored safely in the shop. So was the Aurora drop damaged too? No, as a matter of fact, it wasn't. Of all the jewels in my shop, the Aurora drop was the only one to remain unscathed. In fact, debris so perfectly around the Aurora drop you might believe it was being protected. That's incredible. Guess there's some magic left in the world after all. Ever since then, the Aurora drop became known as the jewel that survived the R incident. People started visiting my shop just to see it. Thanks to all that attention, my business was able to get back on its feet. Sounds like a valuable jewel in more ways than one. What made you decide to bring it back to your mansion instead of keeping it at your shop? I decided to donate it to Rhyme City. The Aurora drop, but why donate something so precious to you? Such as precious to me, that's why I've decided to donate it. Mayor Myers has done his part in improving our city by declaring the start of the Pokemon Friendship Week. I thought it was time I did mine. I wanted to donate the jewel that survived the R incident as a symbol of Rhyme City's revival. I hope that by doing so, I can help liven up not just my shop, but the whole city as well. Wow, Dennis, I'm impressed. That's a wonderful gesture. I'm glad you think so. Not everyone is so pleased about it. Oh? Forget I said anything. I shouldn't burden you with concern over such personal matters. For now, I'm counting on you to find the Aurora drop as quickly as possible. Understood. We'll do everything we can. Now then, Mr. Barnes, we'll take you not to leave the mansion until further notice. Understood. Hey, it sounds like the police finished questioning Barnes. Let's go talk to him. Yeah. Brandon Barnes, butler of the Dennis residence. How did it come to this? And why are the police so suspicious of me? Excuse me, are you Mr. Barnes? Who might you be? I'm Detective Tim Goodman. Mr. Dennis has hired me to investigate the crime that occurred here. Is that so? Ah, my apologies. I'm Brendan Barnes. I work here at the Dennis residence as a butler. Do you mind if we ask you some questions, Mr. Barnes? Man, the chair just wants to creak as much as it possibly can. I realize you must be tired since you were just questioned by the police. Please don't worry about that. If you've been hired by Mr. Dennis, then it is my duty to give you my full cooperation. Thank you. What would you like me to speak about first?
Yes.
I was away when the incident occurred. It wasn't until after I'd finished my errand and entered the house that I realized something was amiss. I heard Turner cry out from the second floor. When I rushed upstairs, I found him collapsed on the floor in front of the jewel storage room. That means Barnes is the first witness to arrive at the scene of the crime. Did you see the thief or their partner Pokemon? No, nothing like that. Wait, if Barnes ran up the stairs, you'd think he would have run straight into the thief. He didn't see anyone, how could they have escaped from the second floor? Did you check the storage room? Yes, the door was already open, and when I looked inside, I saw that the Aurora drop was gone. I then contacted Mr. Dennis and the police right away. Is there anyone who can corroborate your whereabouts at the time? Fortunately not. It was only afterward that Mr. Dennis came out of her room, or Mrs. Dennis came out of her room to see what the commotion was about. And the only others in the house at the time were Growlithe and Clefable. Naturally, no one can take witness statements from Pokemon. I'm afraid I have no alibi. That's where we come in. The Pokemon that live in this mansion might know something. Yeah, but it won't let me question Growlithe. The one that would know something. Mr. Barnes, do you have any idea who the thief might be? Not a clue, I'm afraid. I do know that Mr. Dennis and I are the only ones who can freely use the key to the jewel storage room. Growlithe guards that key with constant vigilance, so I imagine it would be very difficult for anyone else to take it from her. I suppose it's no great wonder that the police suspect me, given the circumstances. Growlithe, I bet, would give it to Mrs. Whatever the name was. Yeah, he'd give it to the Mrs. But I would never do something so senseless. At least this confirms that only those two have access to the key.
Yes.
Ducklet is my dear partner, Pokemon. Just look at this photo. That's Ducklet with you there? Wait, there is a dark blue feather back there. Our portion. Yes, isn't she adorable? Just look at her feathers. Simply beautiful. That's not all. She's also incredibly clever, and he even helps me out with my work. Oh, excuse me. I'm terribly sorry. I tend to get a bit carried away when I speak about Ducklet. It's really no problem. You mentioned that she helps you with your work. What exactly does she do? Let's see. She runs errands for me, such as buying coffee beans from a local cafe. Oh, she buys coffee beans. Nice. The place nearby called the Hi-Hat Cafe. Perhaps you've heard of it? She regularly goes shopping there by herself. If that's their go-to cafe, then it's gotta be for the Hi-Hat blend. Guess I shouldn't be surprised that Ram City's elites have such refined taste. I asked her to go to the cafe today, in fact, but she hasn't yet returned. Could she have wandered off somewhere? Do you have any idea where Ducklet might be? Fortunately, no. The feathers found at the scene of the crime are Ducklet's, right? Yes, no question about it. I haven't the faintest idea why Ducklet's feathers would be there. Just the thought of her getting caught up in crime somehow. I'm so worried, I can hardly think straight.
Yes.
Oh, God damn it. And of all the jewels in Mr. Dennis's collection, he considers the Aurora drop to be his most precious. He worked tirelessly to acquire it in the first place. Might even say the Aurora Drop is the physical manifestation, the crystallization of Mr. Dennis's career as a jeweler. It was nothing but swift retribution on the thief who stole it from him. For someone who speaks so formally, Barnes is a pretty passionate guy, isn't he? Please, Tim, find the Aurora Drop, I beg you. Don't worry, sir, we're on the case.
Well,
Based on Barnes' testimony, I'm really not surprised the police suspect him. Yeah, if only there was another witness, at least. About that, are you forgetting something, Tim? Huh? Barnes told us that Growlithe and Clefable were in the mansion at the time of the incident, remember? Oh right, maybe the Pokemon saw something. Exactly, you can leave the rest to me. Let's go question them, Tim. Well, we already spoke to Clefable.
Tim.
Now I can finally speak to Growlithe. No, not you. Hey, Growlithe, sorry to bug you when you're already feeling down, but would it be alright if we ask you some questions? Oh? We're here to catch the thief. We need your help to do that. You willing to talk to us if it'll help Sanji? Thanks. Sanji? Growlithe's nickname for Dennis, near as I can tell. Oh, right. His full name is Sanji Dennis, so I guess Sanji makes sense. Sanji is like only one letter shorter. People don't like... And technically, actually, Sanji is the same amount of letters. They just got rid of the V and replaced it with a Y. Just added a tail onto the V there. Anyway, Growlithe, can we start with the questions? Gotcha. As Dennis's partner, it's your job to guard the mansion. You already know the key to the jewel storage room was around your neck. It's important to Dennis, so guarding it is important to you. Makes sense. She says she'd never let anyone other than Dennis or Barnes even touch the key. So Mrs. Dennis. So that's why you feel extra responsible for what happened, huh? She's really got a strong sense of responsibility. Don't worry, the two of us are going to crack this case.
well,
You remember anything about the time of the incident? You don't know because you were napping. What? Your breakfast was so tasty that you ate too much and it made you sleepy? Aha, been there, believe me. What are you even talking about? You woke up when Barnes got home. That would have been right before all the commotion happened. When you woke up, your precious key was gone. Yeah, I can tell you're upset. I'll do whatever it takes to help us catch the thief. Thanks. I'll come ask for an assist if anything comes up. She says Barnes is a kind and well-mannered person. He and Dennis are close, and she's never seen them fighting or arguing. Mr. Dennis really does seem to trust Barnes after all. And Growlithe likes Barnes too. Judging from what Growlithe says, it's hard to think of Barnes as a likely culprit. There wasn't anything in Growlithe's testimony that could help us prove Barnes' innocence. But why would Growlithe's key be missing if Barnes has his own? I guess if he specifically wanted to drag attention away from himself. The only one left to ask is Clefable. I'll do what I can to get Clefable talking to us. Thanks, Pikachu. My voice is getting fried by the Pikachu voice. What, you think we're thieves returning to the scene of the crime? You got it all wrong. We're not here to steal anything. We're actually great detectives looking to catch the thief. Please, can you answer some questions? Yes, really. Come on, you can trust us. Yeah, help us out. I'm sure Claudia's bad mood will clear up too. So you're willing to talk to us. Thanks. Yes, Clefable was worried we'd do something bad to Mrs. Dennis.
hey,
Do you have a job here at the mansion? Ah, no job per se, unless you count spending time with Claudia. Isn't it tough hanging out with someone so prickly? Claudia's not a bad person, you say. Sorry, didn't mean to be insulting. So Claudia's always arguing with someone or other. But when it's just you and her together, she starts to regret the whole thing? Oh, I get it now. Your job is to cheer her up when she gets into arguments. Wow, you're actually pretty nice. I bet Clefable's really important to Mrs. Dennis. Did anything strange happen today? Clefable's saying she got real sleepy while playing in the mansion this morning. So somebody like sweet scented the place or something. And she dozed off and doesn't know what happened after that. That's too bad. Or not necessarily sweet scented, but it's something to put them to sleep. Hypnotized, sleep powdered, something like that. What do you think of Barnes? Do you get along with him alright? Claudia doesn't like Barnes. But Clefable tries not to have much to do with him. But she doesn't think Barnes is a bad person. After all, she says Barnes ran to help Turner when he got hurt. And does that mean Clefable saw Barnes going upstairs to help Turner? Yeah, it's gotta. Clefable, what else can you tell us? Clefable was dozing near the front door this morning. When Barnes got home from doing stuff outside, she woke up and greeted him at the door. And Clefable and Barnes heard Turner cry out on the second floor, so they both went running upstairs. So that notes that it couldn't be Barnes, most likely. And then, to their surprise, they found Turner on the floor. That means when Turner was attacked, Barnes was still on the first floor. Okay, time for deducing. Alright, we got some useful information. Let's stop for a moment and get our thoughts together. Based on everything we heard, is there anything that suggests Barnes is innocent? Let's review the information gathered and see what we come up with.
Okay.
We learned that Clefable greeted Barnes when he returned to the mansion. Grella said she woke up at exactly the same time. Barnes and the others only became aware of the crime after that. Doesn't that mean that Barnes couldn't be the culprit? Barnes was on the first floor when Turner was attacked. That would make it very difficult for Barnes to steal the jewel. I'm not sure we can prove our Barnes' innocence with that alone. Yeah, we can't exactly disclose that testimony came from Pokemon. No one would believe us. Looks like we're going to need other evidence to prove his innocence. We can't lift the suspicion around Barnes with Clefable's testimony alone. I think we're going to need some other kind of evidence to prove his innocence. But where should we look for it? Nothing immediately comes to mind. Times like this, it's best to try investigating other leads. You might find a thread somewhere unexpected that leads back to this. To get close to the truth of this case, we've got no choice but to find the Pokemon that the witnesses saw. Witnesses reported seeing a red Pokemon in Ducklet. Wonder if the Pokemon that cut open the jewel case is the culprit's partner. Makes sense to think that, but no such human was seen by witnesses. Having said that, though, we might learn something if we can find the red Pokemon. Let's head into the city and get some leads on that red Pokemon. I'm sure we'll be able to figure out what Pokemon it actually is. At this point, it seems pretty unlikely that Barnes is the culprit. But then, why did Ducklet leave from the second floor window? It seems unlikely that it's got nothing to do with the jewel theft. Finding Ducklet would be the quickest way to confirm that. Sorry, I thought he was talking this whole time. God damn it. Good call. Let's head into the city and look for her. Okay. Well, that's going to be all for this one. So, thank you for watching. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.